Who want one last trip to the long trail?
Claudio and Zafina are characters who hold unlimited potential. You have the Banisher of Demons, Claudio Serfino, the leaders of the Archers of Psoriasis, which is an ancient clan of exorcists who existed for hundreds of years. Their knowledge and power is immense. In the Domo de Surio, Claudio's base of operations, they have an extensive library dedicated to sorcery and exorcism. This knowledge, this information, is used to give the Archers of Psoriasis an edge when combating demons and spirits. We see Claudio exorcising demons, hunting the bloodthirsty vampire Eliza. Claudio is truly a character who holds unlimited potential. In Tekken 7, Heihachi's ego prevented Claudio from assisting in helping take down the biggest threat to humanity, which is Kazuya Mishima. But with Heihachi gone and the stakes elevated in Tekken 8, nothing should be holding back the Banisher of Demons from unleashing his true power. For his ally, Zafina, the mystic stargazer, she resides somewhere in the Middle East, leading what remains of an ancient group of unnamed spiritual warriors. These warriors in the past overthrew Azazel, the rectifier of all things, the origin of the Devil Gene. They imprisoned him, his spirit, in the temple we see in Tekken 6. They passed down a prophecy through generation of warriors, stating Azazel would one day awaken and destroy the world when two dark stars clashes in battle. This is referring to Jin and Kazuya. Zafina's entire life has been dedicated to preventing this one thing from happening. At the end of Tekken 6, when Azazel is defeated by Jin, Zafina imprisons Azazel's spirit in her own body. His spirit is said to be indestructible, which would explain why it was imprisoned in the past and not destroyed. In Tekken 8, Zafina sought out Claudio because Azazel would eventually overpower her body and break free. And upon meeting Claudio, Zafina began to immediately make plans as for what to do next. But here's where things take a dark turn for our characters. Claudio is working with Xiao Yu, and she, over the span of a few months, managed to change Claudio's mind. He was planning to lure Jin into a trap and use Xiao Yu as bait. But seeing how pure-hearted Xiao Yu is, Claudio chose to give Jin the opportunity to save the world, a second chance. This decision Claudio made would have disastrous consequences. When Zafina arrives, she also brings news that Jin Kazama has lost the ability to utilize his Devil Gene. How she knows this, I don't know. But they realize that this means Kazuya has the complete ability to decimate the world. Their answer to this massive problem is to run to the Coliseum as the King of the Iron Fist tournament is taking place and tell Jin he needs to return to Yakushima to reconnect with his Kazama heritage and master his devil abilities. Now, why didn't Claudio just call Jin or Lars on their phone to tell him this? I don't know. But when they arrive at the Coliseum, chaos is unfolding. Victor and Lars and Jin are already enacting their plan upon Kazuya to try and take him down. As Claudio, Zafina, Panda, and Xiao Yu enters the arena, without any warning at all, Kazuya immediately begins to siphon Azazel's power from her arm, using it to strengthen his own devil abilities. The fact that Claudio or Zafina didn't know that Kazuya could do this is completely ridiculous. Both of these characters should have equal, if not more, knowledge of the Devil Gene than Kazuya. For months it's said that Claudio prepared for this moment. For Zafina's entire life, she prepared for this day. And in the moment of truth, they ran into Kazuya's grasp like idiots. Zafina is seemingly killed as a result of Kazuya ripping Azazel from her body. What appears to be her last dying breath, she tells Jin to return to Yakushima, and there he can find answers to everything he's looking for. Now, as for Claudio, Claudio is just watching as all of this unfolds. No magical healing, no magical protection, no spells, no exorcisms to prevent Kazuya from transforming, nothing. The Banisher of Demons does not banish any demons. After Zafina seemingly dies and Jin leaves, Claudio starts to cast a very powerful spell that will seemingly destroy Kazuya and Azazel, or at least break their bond. It's not really explained what this power is or what it will do, but just judging by Victor's reaction, it's a powerful spell. As he fires the large arrow at Kazuya, Kazuya breaks free. He moves. The arrow misses. This spell drained Claudio of pretty much all his energy, and he drops to his knees. But with the last remaining bit of power he has, he flicks his fingers and he turns the arrow back at Kazuya. Kazuya, on the other hand, retaliates with a very powerful laser beam that seemingly destroys Claudio. The arrow, as it's turning back, it strikes Kazuya on the shoulder, and this causes Kazuya to retreat to regain control over Azazel. His connection was weakened by the arrow. You can only imagine what would happen if it made full impact. But regardless, in the end, Zafina and Claudio, both of these powerful characters, and their journey at Tekken 8 ends in the worst way possible. Both characters seemingly dies in this battle against Kazuya Mishima. The writers of Tekken 8's story probably chose this fate for these characters for two reasons. One, simply because Claudio and Zafina, I believe, are too powerful specifically against the Devil Gene, which is also why I believe Jun Kazama is missing for the entire story. Three characters who in one way or another can exorcise the Devil Gene is very problematic for the story, and it's the reason why I focused on these characters, Claudio, Zafina, and Jun, over the past year or so, because I wanted to see how the writers of the story would overcome these three massive obstacles. And it seems their answer is to simply remove them. Claudio, Zafina, removed in the worst way possible. Jun Kazama, she's alive but absent. The introduction of Reina and her having the Devil Gene while wanting revenge for Heihachi seems to be what Tekken 9 will focus on. Jin Kazuya doesn't have the Devil Gene anymore, which means these characters will be a lot weaker. It also seems that Azazel is still alive because his spirit, his essence, is what gives the Devil Gene power. I don't know what Reina would be drawing from if it's not Azazel. So characters like Claudio and Zafina, who are hard counters to the Devil Gene, is needed now more than ever. I must admit, I expected more out of these characters. From following their journey all the way from Tekken 7, Tekken 6 for Zafina to Tekken 8, I was expecting their presence to be greater. The Sorcerer, the Witch, the Banisher of Demons, the Mystic Stargazer. These characters on their own hold so much potential, but when you combine them, it's through the roof. For their impact throughout Tekken 8 to be so small, whittled down to a simple "let's tell Jin to go home," is a complete misuse of their power. I don't like criticizing Tekken. I really want the story to be something great. So when I break down these characters and what they do wrong and what they do right, I am simply trying to highlight them and what they could be. I think the developers made a very bad mistake when they made Claudio the good guy. I would love to see an alternate scenario where he sticks with his original plan of using Jiayu as bait to lure out Jin. Switching to become a good guy and also Zafina being a good guy really feels out of place. Jin Kazama, after the events of Tekken 6, should have wiped away all goodwill he had with both of them. Zafina really stood against him and said, "You shall not pass." It was until Wang Jinrei convinced her to let Jin basically resurrect Azazel. For all of her suspicions to be confirmed after Jin failed to defeat Azazel in Tekken 6 to come true, I feel like this character should harbor some kind of vengeance. I don't want her to be like out for blood or negativity, but she said it was going to happen, and it did. For Claudio, his whole entire empire is built on slaying demons, and the guy immediately folds when he comes across Kazuya. It's hard for me to believe that after one spell, Claudio is eliminated from the story. The Sorcerer Supreme dies after one spell. He never even had an opportunity to make an impact. We never even had a chance to see what the character was capable of. But this is what I always tried to stress about Tekken in the first place. It has so many characters, and it's kind of impossible for them to focus on every single one of them. In this video, I'm talking about Claudio and Zafina and their progression from start to finish, but you can also look at different characters: Zhao Yu, Panda, Asuka, Lily, Harang. So many characters are very stagnant. Jin and the Mishimas are the only ones who are truly allowed to progress. And with the introduction of Reina, I wonder if there's room for characters like Claudio, if they're still alive, to return. Waiting years for Tekken 8 to expand upon the story and the characters we love, and then this is what we get for Zafina and Claudio, I mean, it's kind of disappointing.